Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to our last session on Python coding today. We'll be learning some more elements about Python and then we'll be moving to some other language. Let's look at that. Continuing where we left last Saturday. We talked about, let me just quickly review since today is our last class on Python, on the topic of Python. We talked about how a coding language works. We saw that the Python shell can be used directly as a calculator. We can perform calculations directly on the shell. Then we talked about order of operations. Order of operations is the same as is followed in maths, the PEMDAS, parenthesis, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Then we talked about variables, what variables are and how we store information in them. The different types of variables, numeric variables, string variables, and Boolean variables. Numeric variables are variables on which we can perform math operations. We have both integers and decimal values stored in them. String variables are variables with numeric or non-numeric data, but they're always in quotes. You cannot perform math operations on them. We have special functions to manipulate strings. One of them is concatenation, the plus sign, which helps us combine values together. The len function tells us about number of characters in the string. And then we go by positions. The first character is at position 0. Then comes slicing. What does slicing do? It helps us retrieve part from the whole. We give the variable name, the beginning position, colon, and the ending position +1. The split function helps us split the string based on a particular segment that we are looking for. Boolean variables are of two types. There are only two values, true or false. And we get Boolean result whenever there is a comparison. And comparison is always through relational operators, which are greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and not equal to. Using relational operators, we form relational expressions. Then comes variable naming rules. One of the most common mistakes that I find students making is that they generally give a space between variable name, which is not allowed. There are a couple of data structures, but the one that we focused on is list. List helps us store multiple values in the same variable, which helps us manipulate large volumes of data. Then we saw the different types of functions and the way the lists can be manipulated. I'm just going through an overview. If you want to have a look into detail of these topics, you can refer to the earlier videos. We can modify elements in the list. We can add more elements in the list. We can delete elements. These are the most common functions. You can do much more than that in lists. Sounds good. Now we are going to today look at input output. Now, what does input output mean? The word input means anything that goes into the program. Anything a program needs for processing. What is output? Is result of processing. The final result. So we are going to see both the things. Input, how do we make the program interactive? By taking information from the user rather than assigning it in the program while creating it. Output is very important. That's the final end result. And there are many ways to handle the output. One is to print on the screen. Another is to update a database. Another is to print to a file. Or it might become input to another program. So let's first see how do we handle output. And in output, we'll focus on printing on the screen. Because if the end user doesn't understand what is being shown on the screen, then our program result is not effective. The purpose of making the program and processing the information is of no use to us. So let's look at that. I create a string here, str1 is equal to hello everyone. If I do print str1, it prints hello everyone. And I say str2 is equal to nice to know you. Print str2 gives you nice to know you. If I want to print it properly, I can say result equal to str1 concatenate space concatenate str2. Print result gives me hello everyone, nice to know you. Or I can even print directly. I can say print hello everyone. Oh, I can get the variable name. Print str1 concatenate space concatenate str2. And it prints hello everyone, nice to know you. Now I create a variable number equal to 45. And I want you guys to print hello everyone, nice to know you, 45. Remember, 45 is not a string variable here, it's a numeric variable. I'm wanting you to concatenate it together to print hello everyone, nice to know you, 45. Try it and tell me if you are able to do it or not. Okay, if that works fine, then let me try if it works for me. I further concatenate space, concatenate number, and it throws an error for me. Why did that happen? Because whenever you concatenate a numeric variable, number is a numeric variable, it has to be converted to a string. By concatenation, this plus sign is the concatenate sign. If you concatenate a numeric variable, you have to convert it to a string. Now, if I do print result, it will print it. If I want to do it directly, gives it plus str. Print result gives me hello everyone. Nice to know you 45. If this is clear, then let's do these questions. I've given you a few statements. Create this variable marks, assign it value 78, and print a statement where this 78 value is picked from this variable. This 2018, you have to create a proper concatenated statement to pick the value from the variable. All the values which I've put in diamonds have to be concatenated and printed properly. These values are all picked from the variables defined above. I'll give you 5 minutes to complete it and then we will resume. Okay. Is everyone able to do it? Can we continue? If you want, you can pause this video to complete it. I will just do one more example on this. I say marks equal to 78. I want to print in both the ways, by storing in a variable as well as printing directly. I say here print. First I create variable. Actually I can create print statement directly. It's a small sentence. Use code concat. I give a space inside it. Str marks concatenate space marks. I do year equal to 2018. Print current year is 2018. Age equal to 12. Print your age is years old. Say number equal to 90. Print you chose the number. I thought of doing one and I ended up doing all of them. Just because it's on YouTube, I just don't want anyone to leave the questions unanswered. If you're able to do it, very good. I would like you to just map it and see that you did it correctly. Even if it's a decimal value, it's still a numeric value. Current GPA score is equal to plus STR GPA. So you're getting all these print statements. Now we'll talk about input. Input is about taking information. You can either assign values, get information from other programs, and one of the most common ways is asking user for information. And one of the most common ones that we use is the input function or raw input. You need to see which one works for you. If I say here raw underscore input, in my case, opening closing parenthesis, it gives me an error. If I say input opening closing parenthesis and press enter, you will see my cursor is blinking below. Do you see that? Here I say 45 and I press enter. 45 gets repeated here. It means my system accepts the function input. So please check at your end if input or raw input, which one works for you. Now I say here, name equal to input, opening, closing parenthesis. What now my cursor is blinking, I say young age, which gets assigned to the variable name. If I say print parenthesis name, it prints youngates for me. I say city equal to input, opening, closing parenthesis, San Francisco. If I do print city, it will print San Francisco for me. So whatever input I am giving, it is getting stored in a variable. Here, now you guys create these variables and print them, just like I did for name and city. I can add a few more. Assign, please don't assign values directly to them. Doing input by how we take input from the user. So take input from the user, assign it to a variable and print it. Okay, if you're done, then let's try this. I say number equal to input. I'm just giving a meaningful variable name because I'm going to assign a number equal to 24. If I do print number, it gives me 24. We know that we can perform math operations on numeric variables. Let's do number plus 5 and tell me if you are able to perform math operations. Everyone, try it out. You should get an error like this because by default, input is always in a string format. So even if you give a number, it is stored in a format of a string. Now, what to do if I want to perform a math operation? I want to make that as well interactive. I say number equal to int input. What does that mean? Take an input, convert it to integer and store in number. Now I say 24. If I do print number, it shows me 24. And at the same time, you'll even be able to perform math operation on it. I say number plus 6 gives me 30. I'll even be able to update the variable. I say number equal to number plus 6. If I do print number, it gives me 30. If this is clear, then let's do these questions and tell me if you're able to do it. If you are not, I will request you to revise the video a little bit back and see how do we take an integer input. Here what we are going to do is I create variable marks equal to int input, opening closing parenthesis. I say 24. If I have to add 5.2 to it. I say marks plus 5.2. Update marks by subtracting 15.7. Marks equal to marks minus 15.7. Then I say print marks. If I say print parenthesis marks, it's 88.3. Now complete rest of them. I'll give you 5 minutes to complete. Okay, now I say, if you guys want to still not done, can please pause the video and then you can complete it. I say number equal to int input and I give a decimal value. Tell me if you are able to get a decimal value or not. It gives you an error. So if we want to take a decimal value, then we use what is known as float. Now if I say 5.6, it's going to accept it. If I say print number, it prints 5.6, and you can even perform math operations on it. If this is clear, taking value as a decimal value, let's do these questions and let me know. You need to be really clear with how to create print statements, how to take input from the user based on the data type in order to start building programs ahead. If you want to, I'll leave this sharing if you're working on it, by the way. Because in the next session, if you continue with Python coding, would be how to create interactive programs. And we'll be further learning logics like if conditions, while loops, for loops, files, functions, and so on. But for that, this is the very basic which you need to be clear with, because if you don't know how to print something or how to ask user for information, the data processing cannot take place. I hope you enjoy these sessions. We will be starting with a new program next week. See you guys. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. We are from Young Gates and we offer lots of different programs. Have a look at our summer camps as well.
You want your kid to get ahead in the future? Of course you want to, but do you know how? Whether or not your child grows up to be the next Zuckerberg, programming is a highly useful skill for him or her to learn. It teaches vital problem solving, creativity, and communication. While it might be difficult to imagine a young mind learning something so seemingly complex, it's definitely an attainable reality. Young Gates provides various fun and interactive computer learning programs based on students' level of exposure to computer, beginning from scratch, Python, Java, website exposure, Android apps, data sciences, and robotics. It includes weekly online classes that are interactive, and kids can share the screen with their live instructor if they need help. Visit www.younggates.com and learn more about how we help your kid get ahead in the future.
Thanks everyone for watching this video. Leave us a comment, subscribe to our channel. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.